With us today moderating is Rachel Demita. She's a TV and internet personality. She interviews athletes for channels including ESPN, NBA TV, and 2K TV. She's an athlete herself in many sports, and in 2008, she got a full scholarship in basketball at Old Dominion University. She also volunteers each week to help cats at the Best Friends Animal Society, one of my favorite organizations. She also says that Lil BUB was her inspiration to start helping cats, and Lil BUB is among the creatures we have out here today. She'll introduce our panel members, and she'll also help us learn more about men and cats, a love story. Here's Rachel.
Thank you, Keith. Just for the record, guys, I have more experience with cats than men. Just put that out there. Well, thank you guys for joining us. As you know, men and cats are not usually two words that are used together. Kind of like the phrase crazy cat lady, men have also gotten a bad rap when it comes to showcasing their love of our kitty friends. And why is that? Well, since at least the 19th century, writers have observed that cats have been associated with females and the feminine, while dogs have been considered man's best friend and more masculine. But luckily now it seems like that attitude is shifting, and it's okay to be a cat man, right? Yeah. All right, guys, so what you have all been waiting for, I'm going to now introduce our panel, but I will ask you that you please do not yell or clap or scream too loud because one of our panelists is a little bit shy, and you'll find out who that is very soon. So please welcome to the stage first actor Gilles Marini. And next up we have Cole and Marmalade's Chris Poole. Can we do finger claps? Does that work? Okay, cool. Next up, we have DJ and dad to Catstradamus, aka Samson, Jonathan Zurbel. And last but not least, Lil BUB and her man, Mike Bridavsky. Very good finger clapping, everybody. All right. A lot of handsome men up here.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you.
Let's start at the end. Gilles, tell us about your cat.
About Penelope. Hi, guys. How are you? Good? I know. We got to be quiet because of, you know. Penelope, she's now 4 years old, and obviously she's a lot to us. I got Penelope for my daughter Juliana because I wanted to teach her how to be a bit more responsible. One day you'll be a mom. So I think it was a good idea for me to get her if she wanted a cat, she can speak. So I made sure that she had one, and they're best friends. And Penelope now is 4, but she's more like 35 in her mind. She runs the house and she's the boss, so you know that.
And Mike, what's your kitty setup? I know we've got her here today.
My full kitty setup? Well, Bub's one of, I like to say 5, although my cat Oscar ran away 4 years ago. I assume he's just kicking it somewhere. But I've got this magnificent cat, Lil BUB. Well, her name's just Bub to us, or Bubba Cat, as my son calls her. And then I have a cat named Special Agent Dale Cooper. He's 24 pounds. I have another cat named Josie. She's a bobtail. I call her Thumb Bottom because it's like her tail's like a little thumb. It's weird. And then I have another cat named Vivian. And we have a cat named Spooky who lives with us at home. The others live in my recording studio. And that's the fam.
Nice. Chris?
My cats are Cole and Marmalade. Cole is a black cat that we rescued when he was about yay big, 5 or 6 weeks old, found on the streets, covered in fleas. So we rescued him, gave him a bath, which he wasn't too fond of. And now he's 5 years old. Marmalade is 4 years old. He's a cancer survivor, and they get along really well, and we got really lucky. Lucky guy.
That's awesome. Last but not least.
Samson. So I got Samson, the Maine Coon. I adopted him from my brother, who could no longer take care of him. I did not know he was going to be a 28-pound monster cat. You can do cat lifting with him. He's huge. You need 2 hands just to hold him. So Samson just came to me. You know, they say cats pick their owners. He needed me, and I love him. And it's been a journey. He got famous, and he almost, died from lilies, which we'll talk about later. But he's just a great cat that came into my life, and that's my only cat right now. It's my first cat, and I love cats. Now I'm sold.
And this is obviously inspired.
Yeah, this is,
by the big guy.
looks a lot like my Sammy. It's about the same size, too. I couldn't bring him because I can't fly with him easily. He doesn't fit in a domestic aircraft, so if someone wants to fly me private, I'll take him out in the jet next time, and we'll bring him out here.
It's goals, right? We need a CatCon private jet.
Yeah, we'll do cat rides. We'll put a saddle on him, and you can ride around like a battle cat.
So, Chris, have you always been a cat man?
Short answer is yes. I grew up with cats and dogs, guinea pigs, rabbits, you name it. I've had one of those at home.
Where are you?
I'm busy right now,
Yeah.
but Cole doesn't seem to
I
mind.
don't think, yeah, she doesn't mind.
That, believe it or not, that's the only place Marmalade likes to sit on my lap and snuggle, on the throne. But I'll take it. Cole's a big snuggler. But as I was saying, I grew up with cats. My first cat was actually a black cat named Sarah, my mum's cat. So when I was like 5 years old, I grew up with a black cat. They've always been my favorite. Didn't tell Marmalade. But yeah, from the get-go, cat guy, and then I worked with big cats in Florida, and then Cole Marmalade came into my life. So cat guy from the start, really.
Yeah. Now everybody knows Cole Marmalade.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Gilles, when you tell people that you're a cat owner, what's their first reaction?
Wow, it really all depends. You have the typical dog lover that will say, "Oh, so what's wrong with you?" But nothing is wrong with me. Like Chris, I have cats since I can remember. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things wrong with me. I'm sure, but not having a cat, I think it all depends. I have cats since I can remember. Actually, my first cat was kind of known in the neighborhood because she was jumping from the 3rd floor. She didn't want to go from the door.
Oh my goodness.
Go figure. She's Sammy's cat, and it was not Penelope. I was 6 years old, and she was jumping from the 3rd floor into a fountain that is 1,000-year-old, because I grew up in the south of France, and things are very old over there. And she was putting a paw, and she was drinking of water from the fountain every morning until the ABC of France called TF1 did a little segment on her, and I was super proud. I have a famous cat like you, yay. But yeah, people react differently, and they don't tell me anything bad. They better not.
How could they with that face?
Yeah, she's a teacup Persian, so I would love for her to meet Samson and just see the difference. It must be freaky.
I don't know, does Samson get along with other cats?
Yeah, as long as he stays in charge. He's always the dominant animal in the room. Dogs are afraid of him. I mean, they just roll over and whimper as soon as they see him, People run when the door opens. The UPS guy is like, "Whoa, is he going to attack me?" He's a sweetheart, though. Look
There
at
he
him.
is. Oh, man.
Very loving cat.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Very cute. Little
It's
Bub
gorgeous.
is a little thirsty over there.
I don't mean to interrupt at all, but this is the first time Bubs drank water in over 5 years. I'm not joking. She stopped drinking water after she had a urinary tract infection when she was about 10 months old. And so I mixed water in with her food, and now she's really chugging.
So good.
That's awesome.
Good job, Bub.
You guys
Yeah, I'm a
are
little
winning.
It's the
emotional
vibe.
right
It's the
now.
vibe
This
in
is
the
wild.
audience. The vibe is making her
It's actually, I mean, most cats drink water, so it's not that big a deal, I guess.
She can feel the love, all this cat love on stage.
It's all these hot dudes up here. She's got.
She's like, oh man. So when you tell people, Chris, about your love for cats and everything that you do for cats, what is the typical response?
It's generally positive. Like, all my friends and family know I'm a crazy cat guy now because I'm online everywhere, and it's a cool thing for them and me, so they really like it. The only obstacle we've came across is when we're like going to try and rent an apartment or a house. Some landlords don't like cats that are clawed, even though they're mega cute. Tuna breath, but even though we say they're like the perfect cats and they don't scratch anything, it's still in their mind they don't want to rent
Don't tell them, just
a cat.
do it.
But yeah, overall positive response.
Yeah. Mike, have you always been a cat man? Or you say animal lover in general?
Yeah, I've always been an animal lover, but I had sort of a complicated relationship with cats. Our first cat, Tiffany, when I was growing up, she was really awful to me. I think I still have a slight scar from where she would just, I mean, she was just an animal that lived in our house, in our basement. You couldn't get close to her. She would just slice you. She'd hiss when you got near her. She lived with us for like 15 years. We barely knew her. We'd like run down in the basement and feed her and run back up. And then we had another cat named Poole, who was a big Persian, and he was so sweet. I loved him. And he was one of those cats that would just curl up with you and knead your belly, and I thought he was so great. And during that time, we thought Tiffany was pooing all over my parents' bed, and we would get really mad at her, and she got in trouble, and Pooh was like so sweet, and we're like, oh, he's such a great cat, she's terrible. And then we busted Pooh. It was Pooh who was doing it, and he was framing her, and then I was like, I don't like any cats, because Pooh is a cheating jerk, and Tiffany wants to slice my leg off. And then I had a girlfriend in high school who had a cat who would stick his butthole in my face. And so...
Why did you do that? They do that.
yeah, it's like, dude, what's your problem? I'm just trying to sleep. And I'm not putting my butthole in your face, so... And then I just didn't think about cats much. And then my very first cat, I named him Roscoe. And I was just moving out of my house in college with 3 other guys. And he just walked in the house and sat on my foot. And he didn't sit on anyone else's foot. And then I didn't think much of it. And I went and took like books to my car. He followed me and he came back and sat on my foot. And I was like, I guess you're my cat now. And I loved him very much. I only had him for a year. He escaped from a window in a new place that was on a freeway. So, but that's okay, because that's how I started to become a big cat lover. And every other cat since then, all 5 or 6 or whatever, I never went out to find a cat. Every single one has found me like Roscoe has. So that's how I started my love affair with cats.
That's awesome. Speaking of love affairs, Jonathan, have you had any situations come up with women and cats that are kind of fun little stories you can share?
Well, Samson brings a lot of women around. I'll tell you that much. Sometimes he gets kind of jealous. He wants them all to himself. I was on Tinder once, and she found out I was She found out I was a cat guy. She said, oh, I'm a dog person, bye, and blocked me. So I was like, do you like cats? You know, kind of a prerequisite here. You know, it's kind of a deal breaker if you say no. And she blocked me. All right, I'm a cat guy.
Gilles, how about you? How does your wife?
Oh, we have a zoo at the house. It's all good. I have chicken.
So you didn't get denied by being a cat man? All right.
No. My wife, I mean, obviously we're animal lovers. We have a couple friends in the audience. Raylene is right there, so she knows me really well. I have chickens, rabbits, lizards. What else we have? Yeah, that's all she does. How cool is that? The cat can really hurt you if they want to, but yet they put their paw like this. So I try to grab her at night when I can't fall asleep, and if she does that, I will be out in a second. So this is, I'm using her. Yeah, no, we have a lot of animals. We also have a French bulldog, fish. That's the only place Penelope drinks water from. Big bowl of fish, 2 fishes inside. They're 8 years old now. I don't know why they're still there, but they're still there. And Penelope drinks the water from that, so I have to always top the bowl, otherwise she cannot reach it. But the fish kind of like, not kiss her, but they're doing something with Penelope while she's drinking, so it's like an ecosystem that works really well. But yeah, so that's what she does now. The family loves it, obviously.
That's awesome.
You know.
And Mike, Lil BUB played an important role in meeting your special someone. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I don't know if she made it in here. Apparently she wasn't allowed to bring a stroller in. I don't know. But if you're here, hi, honey, I love you. So the same day that Bub met Grumpy Cat, I met my wife. And we were at the Walker Art Museum for the 2nd annual Cat Video Film Fest. It was a part of the Minnesota State Fair, which is like the biggest state fair in the world, I guess. And 12,000 people there, it's insane. So the big thing was, I don't know if you guys know Scott Stulin, but he was moderating the panel yesterday, great guy. And he's the one that flew me out, and his big thing was at the State Fair, Bub and Grumpy Cat are gonna meet for the first time. This is August 2014. And we were downstairs in the green room where Bub and Grumpy Cat met for the first time, and they brought down all the folks that worked at the museum to meet the famous cats. And so this lady comes down, this redheaded lady, and she's like, what's going on here? What's with the cats? And I was like, oh, you don't know? Why are you down here if you don't know? She's like, well, it's my 2nd day at work, and they just said you got to meet the cats. Yours seems so sweet, and that other one seems a little upset. I was like, yeah, it's like that's her thing, you know. And so we talked, but mostly I was like, I was kind of having a hard time breathing because I was like, I need to start a conversation with this woman. She's going to leave in like 2 minutes. And we sort of talked about Indiana or something, and she left. And I was, I don't want to sound cheesy or whatever, but I was really like, I have to find this woman and find a way to talk to her. And, but I don't want to be that creepy guy with the cat, like, she's famous.
Too late.
And I actually, throughout the day, kept pretending to go to the bathroom to try and maybe run into her. And then I was like, I know she'll be at the, I didn't even get her name. I know she'll be at the after party. So at the after party, it was a long day. I was pretty tired. I had a few too many drinks. I saw Scott. I said, Scott, dude, that redheaded lady, she was great. Will she be here? Oh, no? Oh, well, my email, just give it to her. So that's like the lamest thing you could give to anyone. But turns out that the reason she got the job was because of Scott. Her and Scott were friends. She interned for him earlier. He said, he's a really great guy. You should email him. And then 3 days later, she emailed me. A few days later, we talked on the phone, and I booked a trip to visit her and stay with her for a week. And then 6 weeks after that, she quit her job as the executive director at the Walker Art Museum. Executive assistant to the director. Whew, got that wrong. And then she moved in with me, and then 3 months later, we got engaged, and 3 months later, she was pregnant with our first kid. So we really rushed into things. But what's great is we have a photo of the very moment we met because she took a photo with Bub and her coworker sent it to her. So it's really fun to look at that photo and think about what's going through my head.
That's awesome. I love it.
Chris, your cats I've seen on YouTube, and I'm sure many other people have seen all the videos of Cole and Marmalade. They have a lot of fun in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the most memorable shenanigan that they've ever
Gotten up to.
gotten up to?
Well, Marmalade's a bit of a toilet paper destroyer. So one day, I'd had a terrible day at work down in Florida, and I just wanted to get home. I ride my push bike to work, and I got rained on the way back home, so when I got home, I was really just, get me home, I just want to relax. So when I opened the door, ready to usher Cole and Marmalade out of the way, because they're waiting for me, like, you're home, human, feed me now. But they weren't there, so I went in kind of confused, expecting them to run out like they'd been playing somewhere. They weren't there, so I was searching everywhere for them, like starting to get worried, because I looked in all the hiding spots they're usually in, and couldn't find them. I thought the maintenance guy had maybe came in to do some work and let them out, and they'd escaped. So I was really starting to get panicked. So I was like, this is all I need at the end of this day. And then I walked into the second bathroom that we barely use, and then Cole and Marmalade were both sat there with toilet paper just shredded everywhere. And
As we can see.
yeah, Marmalade's favorite hobby. Luckily, he doesn't do this anymore. But yeah, it was like toilet paper artwork all over the floor. Like, we created this for you, Chris. You're welcome. And the even more remarkable thing is I was able to get my phone out and get the picture. So I got the evidence, and that's probably my favorite photo of Cole and Marmalade. I'm not sure if that's going to be shown.
It makes you pause for a second, even after you have a bad day, and when you come home, and
Exactly.
cats will just make you laugh sometimes, you know?
Exactly. They make you forget the worries and just appreciate the simple things in life, like destroying toilet paper.
I gotta teach that to Penelope the way my wife would love me a little bit more. Having toilet papers all over the
But
house.
would your wife have to be the one to clean it up, or
I
would you
just
clean it
try
up?
to find a way to escape at that moment. Yeah.
Jonathan, you had a pretty dramatic story about your move to Miami.
Yeah, very scary situation we had. Well, basically, me and Samson decided to start a new life, drive to Miami around Halloween. And everything I have to get from him is like large size because they don't have, I have to get in dog stuff. So I got a nice big dog crate for him, rented a minivan, packed all our stuff in there, headed to Miami. And it was hard on the road. We couldn't find hotels that allow cats. They're like dogs, no cats. Like, okay. Or, pay $75 more for a cat for like a couple hours of sleep. So Sammy was here. There he's watching his favorite movie, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. No, he watches that. No, look at him. He's like, you're disturbing me. He watches that. He loves that movie. He knows it. He watches it on the iPad.
Oh, he's telling you, get out of here.
So we put him in the van and we drove, and it was hard to find the hotels. And cats don't like to travel. He's like kind of like not eating. He's a sweetheart. He's not eating and not going to the bathroom. It's fine. We make it down there, and it was a little bit of a journey, but we made it in one piece. And I get there, and I get to my brother's place, and I let him start to explore, let him out a little bit, and I just noticed he had some yellow spots on him, and I'm so fussy with him. He had just gotten a lion cut. He looked beautiful, white, mane, and everything was looking great, except he had these yellow streaks on him. So naturally, I was like concerned with, is it a chemical? What is it? So I told my vet about it. She said, okay. She didn't really, she's like answering a little bit, and then I'm still concerned. So I asked again. I said, I'm really bothered about this yellow stuff on his paw. It won't come off. Is it paint? Is it bad for him? She says, no, it's okay as long as there's no lilies in the house. My heart sank. There's flowers where Samson was sleeping under. Lilies. It's raining outside. It's Sunday. I ran home in the rain, 5-6 blocks, grabbed Sammy, had to put him in the back of Uber XL, and we had to rush to the hospital. And it was really rough. Just gotten down there. And people came through for us, on what's it called, the site where you can get help with money. What's the name of it?
GoFundMe?
Yeah, GoFundMe.
eBay.
And we really came through on GoFundMe with a lot of support and took great care of him and nursed him back to health. And he's doing fine. He recovered. So I just made a point to, warn people about the dangers of lily flowers around cats.
So lily flowers is for every cat, or?
Yeah, extremely poisonous.
There are a lot of flowers poisonous for cats. So when we go to get flowers, we're on our phones like searching each one. Dang it, can't get that one. Dang it, can't get that one. It's quite a few. Yeah.
How long did it take to get back to
I mean, you know, he's back to himself, you know, pretty quickly. I think due to his size, it might have spared him. I mean, he was licking it all over his face, his ear, his paw. You know, licking the pollen and naturally attracted to the sweet smell of the flower, and he didn't know it's just a beautiful flower. He wants to lay under it. And, you know, I stayed up for 3 days watching him, just making sure I didn't get any sleep, that he was not going to have any renal failure due to the poison.
Oh.
So we came through okay, and everybody supported us, and it was a really heartwarming feeling to have everybody come out and help out this cat that I love so much, and that people see that, and they saw that, and they helped us out. So we were able to fully recover, and now we're doing super well in Miami. He's used to it, he likes it, and we're getting along great.
That's
Awesome cat.
I know that at least these three men, you guys have a lot of fan love on social media. And Gilles, sometimes you share photos of Penelope as well. Do you feel that same love on your Instagram when you're...
Actually, I always look crazy when I post pictures. I don't know why I post those pictures. The cat looks great, but I'm like... But you know what? Lately, the last maybe 4 or 5 years, there's an uprise of people really loving cats more than ever. You know, I have dogs, and I post a picture of the chickens, and so on and so forth, whatever it is. But people love having the kitties pictures somehow, and it's very nothing is forced with cats. You know, it's on their own watch. I'm sure you know that. If they want to love you, they will, and if not, they dismiss you. And I just really love that about cats. They're like us, and they don't need to talk. So. Yeah, the people love. The people love when you post pictures. I think the Paris Hilton is a like a blogger. I'm sure some of you heard about the guy. And I posted a picture and he reposted, and he contacted me. And for example, someone like that, I would never get in touch with me for X or Y reasons. Did because he's a cat lover, I believe, and. You know, people react really well. I'm sure that everybody's watching those funny cat videos. That's if you have a kid and you don't know what to do with them for 5 minutes because they go crazy, you put a funny cat video and they're like, and they're laughing their butt off all day long. So no, I love it. I wish I was as good as you at filming stuff. And
You'll get there.
I'll get there.
It's a full-time job.
She does a lot of crazy stuff, and she gets along with the chicken in a way. She looks at them like they're weird T-Rex. Can I eat you or not? And just follow each other. It's interesting. The house is nuts. It's nuts.
Well, if you ever want to start a page for Penelope
I'm
and
doing
chicken,
I'm
then
doing this today.
these guys can help you out, I'm sure.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one today.
Cool. Well, I think that's all the questions that I have, and I think we do have a few minutes for some of your questions. So we have 2 microphones set up right there. And
by the way, we barely see you, so if we don't
yes.
make eye,
the lights are coming up a little bit. Nice, there you are. There's
I have
everybody.
Jedi power.
Yeah, so if you guys would
see.
like to line up, and you know, we can take a few questions while we still have these fabulous men up here. Yeah, don't be shy. Cool.
He's got a cool T-shirt. That's all I can tell.
Yes.
Good afternoon,
Real
Josh
man,
here.
Something.
So I just wanted to find out if there was any specific memories that 30, 40 years from today that you'll remember about your cat, and any of you that can think of one. I just thought that'd be a really neat thing to hear, something real special.
I have one. It might not be what you're wanting to hear, but when you said a memory that I'll never forget. It's one of Bub's first flights, and I wanted her to see takeoff. So I held her like this, and as soon as the engines roared, she went like that and peed all over me. Here's the kicker. You can't get up for about 30 minutes, and it gets really cold. If you've ever peed yourself on a plane, it's pretty much the same thing.
That's when he was scratching. Cats can scratch, you know. Watch, he's actually DJing right here. They don't want crazy. See?
Oh.
He can scratch.
Some talent. Any memory you'll never forget?
Apart from the toilet paper destruction. I'm horrible at thinking on my feet, so over to you.
That's okay.
I'll think of
No,
something.
I was just thinking something odd. My mom, and probably the love that I have for cats is coming from my mom. If she can rescue 1,000 cats, she would. So she rescue as much as she can. I think she always have, give or take, 4 to 6 cats at home, and she rescued one that had no hair. She was really kind of dying in this corner. So she brought it home and she got her back to she got her back to normal. And she called me. She said, "Oh, I realized why people abandoned that cat." And I don't have the picture here, but the cat looks like Hitler. It is scary. It's got the thing like that, seriously, and the mustache. And I met that kitty, and she lived a long time, but literally, it's a thing, and I didn't know. They call them Hitler. It's true. I'm not making this up. So I think that was more than a funny story, a heartwarming story, because my mom always taught us that if you can feed 3 people, you can feed 4 or 5 or 6 if you make an effort. So
That's awesome.
yeah, she I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you, my mom is going to freak out. She called it Adolf. My mom, it's too early. It's only 7 years ago. Don't do that. And really cool cat. And we missed it because she passed away last year. So, but that's one of the things that came to my mind.
One more over here.
This one is for specifically Lil BUB. By the way, you're absolutely adorable. If you were to be a Lord of the Rings race character, would you be an elf, a hobbit, a dwarf, a man,
Wizard.
or wizard?
Boom.
I don't even know if that you can just be that, but that's what Bub is. She's definitely, she's probably part wizard, part elf, part dwarf, part hobbit.
She's just a combination of everything.
Yeah, but from space.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new series of books, really.
Thank you.
Oh, but yeah, she had a hashtag for a long time, Bilbo Bubbins. Yeah. Our first email until we got a website was bilbobubbins@gmail.com, and you can still email it, and it forwards to my current email address. So hit us up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hi guys, nice to see you. So I know when I travel with my cats, I usually travel with them in my car, and my cat runs all around my car and meows at me like I'm going crazy. Do you ever have to give your cats any anxiety pills when you fly with them or travel with them so often, or how does Bub remain so calm?
Well, I don't know if you guys travel with your pets. I mean, most people don't. It's not a good idea. And not to travel with your pets, but with your cats. I would never travel with my other 4 cats. I mean, if I just hold them and open the door to the outside, I'll get sliced, you know. I don't give Bub anything. It must be because of space travel. She's pretty used to it. Our first trip was to Good Morning America almost exactly 5 years ago, which is insane. A little more than that. And I told them, I said, cats don't like to travel. My main concern is her health and safety, and this was her first big trip. And I said, if we land and I feel that she's stressed out, we're just not going to do the show. And she sat in my lap the whole time. This is before I picked her up, and she peed on me. That was the second flight. But and she was just totally fine with everything, and she was fine in the car. She likes it. Turns out it's good for her bones. I think maybe it feels nice to her, all the vibration.
Yeah.
But with other cats, I don't know. I know people have there's a spray or these wipes, these pheromone wipes that you can try. I think I tried that with a cat once, and she hissed. So.
Right. And you guys don't travel with your cats?
Well, when I do, I have a speaker that's like cat music. It's has the calming frequencies, and it really helps him. So it has a little chip on the speaker, so I just press play on it. I don't need to Bluetooth it. And it has really nice, it calms me down too. So when we've done TV shows in green rooms and stuff, I make sure the speaker's there, and we create a calm environment that's just very relaxing. No one's allowed to burst in the room, and everyone has to be a little more quiet so he doesn't get spooked. But my cat's so big that travel is a whole issue unto itself. because of his size.
Yeah.
So, you know, that makes it a challenge. But, you know, you have to watch them all the time. You know, they could be panting, and it takes, it's nerve-wracking.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you care about your cat so much, and, you know, traveling can be, you know, a lot of noises and stuff that'll spook cats. So that's difficult. But you just, you try to keep them calm.
Yes.
You know, and pet them and just reassure them it's okay, and you're all right.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
If you type in like soothing cat music on YouTube as well, there's videos that are like 8 hours long too. So you can have it running like at night times. I've used this as well. I just wanted to add that if anybody needs the music. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm actually a father of 5, and everybody gets along really, really well. So I guess we're really fortunate about that. But this question is for Chris. I watch like all your videos. You do really good job with us. But my question is, how many hours of like filming per video do you actually like? Does it take like a few hours of footage to get into like one video, or?
It varies. It can, you know, cats don't perform well. You like, go sit over there. Marmalade doesn't do that. They don't do as they're told. So I script videos out sometimes, just have a rough idea. But yeah, it can be, you know, anywhere from an hour to like 4 or 5 hours, and then you whittle it down to 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh my.
So yeah, you've got a lot of work to do.
Wow.
It can take a long time. It
Take
can take a long
notes
time.
for your
Oh yeah,
channel.
I mean, every time I try to take a picture with Penelope, she will find a way to go.
So I don't know.
She would turn. She knows. She just makes it on purpose. It's just, I don't know. Good job. I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I've always got my video camera
Ready.
with me and just ready for action to capture that fun moment. But yeah, it takes a lot of time.
We all end up like asking someone to make crazy sign and crazy noise behind the camera, and it doesn't work really well with
Cat
cats.
treats.
Cat treats, whatever. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, you know.
Is it pretty much just you filming, or does your wife help you?
Sometimes she helps, but it's either me or me and a tripod. I do pretty good though.
No, they're totally awesome videos. Very
Yeah, so
entertaining.
it varies. So yeah, no simple answer to that one. You know cats.
Yeah, of course. They perform when they want to.
Yeah, I make them look good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this question is for Samson. How did what inspired you to get the lion cut for your cat?
Mostly for health issues, in just that summer was approaching, and I felt Samson would be really hot because he's a winter cat. He's from Maine, you know, from up north and in the bogs, and he wants to be out in the snow. He loves the snow as well. So I thought it'd be nice for the summer to, you know, hair grows back. It's such a drama for people on my Instagram that I cut his hair. Oh my God, what did you do? It's like it grows back. And he loves it. You know, his name came from a biblical character, Samson, which this man lost his strength when his hair was cut. And Samson is kind of the same thing. We give him a lion cut, he turns into this meek little kitten. And he cuddles constantly, and he's curling up by me, and he's like, he never does that. I wish he would more often. So, and he's so happy, he's jumping on things, and he's just like a kid again when we give him the lion cut. So mainly it's just for that. I mean, he looks really cute in it too. And then people can see he's not actually fat, because stop body shaming cats.
That's why you did it.
Yeah, he's not. He's svelte, you know, or what's that word? He's like lean,
Ripped.
and he's ripped. Yeah, he's a macho cat, you know.
His name's Samson.
He's the Fabio of cats. So he's beautiful both ways. And right now his hair is really long and gorgeous, but we're going to do a lion cut. So you can tune into Instagram Live, my Catstradamus account. We're going to do a lion cut on, what's this, Labor Day weekend coming up? Mm-hmm. So we're going to start fresh again and give him a nice little trim.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Over here, do you want to go ahead? So the question is if Samson inspires DJ sets.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I was more famous than my cat for a long time. I had 130,000 followers and kind of created some songs and some hit records and thought I was a big deal. And Samson had 7,000 followers, and people would still write, "Oh my God, your cat has more followers than me. What's going on in the world? What do I got to do?" And now he has 6,000. So he's actually passed me. And I needed a way to just join the two worlds, otherwise it was going to be just too crazy, you know. So I decided to, hey, let me DJ with a giant cat head on. So I do look for songs with meows or cat-themed songs once in a while, and I mix it up, and there's a lot of like cool meow sounds, and I pay attention to the cat sounds, and I've actually started my set with a long purr, and the purr gets louder and louder. Then the Snoop Dogg song comes on, but I cut it off where he says dog. It just says meow.
That's cool.
I recently saw the movie A Street Cat Named Bob, and it really made an impression on me, a story of a man and his cat and how they kind of saved each other. I'm just curious if the panel has seen that movie or read any of James Bowman's books that it was based on.
No,
Not familiar.
I've never seen that movie.
I'm familiar with the movie. I haven't seen it. I know it's a touching story. I think it was, did it come out in the States? It did,
Yes.
I guess, yeah. But I know the book was a really big deal, especially overseas. But unfortunately, I haven't read it yet.
I highly recommend it, and it's a great story about a man and his cat.
Now we know.
We have to watch it.
Awesome.
It's our assignment now. So.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for all the questions, and thank you for coming out today. We can do some finger claps one more time for these fabulous men up here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And their kitties. Yay!
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of CatCon. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.